Thank you for tuning in to my Swoops Films Entertainment channel. Now, I wanted to talk about PC culture. I think PC culture in today's generation has gone too far. The woke Twitter crowd is demanding that every company that uses a black mascot should be pulled from the shelves. And these corporations are bowing down to the woke Twitter mob. They've removed Aunt Jemima. They've removed Uncle Ben's. They've removed the cream and wheat guy. This is completely ridiculous. All these companies are removing black logos. It's completely ridiculous. And what bothers me with the woke Twitter generation is they think anything that's offensive, anything that they disagree with, they think it should be removed. They think anything that's classic is offensive. This is why they're removing all the statues. This is why they're removing all the logos. What's crazy about this, if you remove all the black logos from the products, there's only going to be white logos on the products. And I don't think that sends a good message to younger black folks. Because when younger black folks go shopping, all they're going to see is white logos on all the products. And they're not going to see any black logos in the grocery store anymore. So a lot of the woke Twitter leftists, they don't understand what they're doing. I think they think they're helping black people, but they're actually making it worse. Because a lot of companies, a lot of corporations are going to stop using black actors to promote their products. Because if the black actor is not painted in an absolute positive light, somebody on Twitter is going to say it's racist. Some woke Twitter activist is going to say it's racist. And this is the reason why a lot of companies have stopped hiring black actors to promote their products. Because somebody's going to be offended by it in the woke Twitter mob. And it blows me away how all these corporations are caving to a bunch of 20-year-old woke activists. These people are absolutely ridiculous. Now, I grew up eating Aunt Jemima, syrup, and pancakes. I mean, I grew up on this. So to see them remove this as a logo is completely ridiculous. And the family of Aunt Jemima is outraged by this. They're mad as hell that they're removing her as a logo. As you all know, Aunt Jemima was actually a real person. Her real name was Nancy Green. And Nancy Green was one of the first black millionaires. She was hugely successful and she was a civil rights activist. So to remove her from the package makes no sense whatsoever. Now, Nancy Green died in 1923, if I do believe so. And she was hugely successful. Now, they changed the logo 30 years ago. They used to have Aunt Jemima dressed up like a slave, but they changed the logo in 1989, and they had her look more like a modern day black woman. So this logo was changed 30 years ago. It's not the same logo as it was in the past. But the woke Twitter mob is saying this is offensive. It's still offensive. She should be removed. So this company has decided to remove the logo of Aunt Jemima. And they're going to replace her with a white logo. They're going to replace Aunt Jemima with a white logo. This makes no sense whatsoever. And then you have the cream and wheat guy. The cream and wheat guy was actually a real person as well. His name was Frank L. White. And Frank L. White was a chef in New Orleans. He owned his own restaurant. He was also successful. There's nothing offensive about his character whatsoever. There's nothing offensive about using his photo to promote the product. He was never a slave. This man was very intelligent. He was handsome. There's nothing offensive about being a chef. There's nothing offensive about cooking food. So it's completely ridiculous for them to remove him as a logo. It doesn't make any sense. Now, I can understand that Aunt Jemima, that goes all the way back to slavery, because the product is over 130 years old. But like I said, they changed the logo 30 years ago. They no longer have her dressed up like a mammy. She's dressed up like a modern day black woman. So they already changed the logo, so I don't understand why they have to remove her, remove the name. That doesn't make any sense. So I think a lot of the younger generation needs to wake up. They need to wake up and stop being offended by everything. Stop being offended by every little thing that you disagree with. I think keeping certain things in place make us appreciate where we've gotten as a society. In removing everything that's classic, removing everything from the past is not going to make things better. It's just going to make things worse. I think Generation Z is going to go down in history as the worst generation ever. This generation is against freedom of speech. They're against freedom of expression. They believe anyone that disagrees with them is being offensive. They're offended by everything they disagree with. There's plenty of people that I disagree with. There's plenty of companies that I disagree with. But do I think they should be removed because I disagree with them? No, because I'm not an opinionated asshole. Today's generation is the worst generation ever. And they think they're civil rights leaders, but nothing about what they're pushing for is progressive. Martin Luther King would be against everything what today's woke generation is pushing. Martin Luther King believed in freedom of speech. Martin Luther King believed in judge a person by the content of your character and not the color of your skin. Today's woke Twitter generation doesn't understand that. They believe everybody should be judged by their race. Everybody should be judged by their sexuality. Everybody should be judged by their skin color. What the woke generation is pushing for is the complete opposite of what being progressive is. And I just want to encourage the younger generation to start being more open-minded. And these corporations that are bowing down to the woke Twitter mob are pathetic. It's like everybody has lost their balls. Everybody has lost the meaning of standing up for what you believe in. When you're bowing down and caving to a bunch of 20-year-old woke fanatics. So people need to come to their senses and stop being offended by every little thing. The whole world doesn't revolve around you. There's a lot more important things that are going on in the world than besides removing Aunt Jemima's syrup and pancakes and Uncle Ben's rice. There's much more important things that we as black people should be focusing on than removing black logos from grocery items. It doesn't make any sense. So I just want to encourage the younger generation to wake up and start being more open-minded. A lot of people have different opinions about this topic. Leave a comment, rate, and subscribe.